Assalamu alaikum. Today's June 7th, 2021. Shawwal, I believe 27th, 1442. I just came back from the dentist's and I was having a look at my x-rays of my back left molar up here. Yeah. No, trying to get my health cleaner, my teeth health cleaner and better. Um, Even you can see like they're not really white. I didn't really take care of them too well when I was younger. I had depression and other stuff. But yeah, so this guy back here, they did X-ray, and there was like a shadow which shows decay on the outside. Like how do you say it? Not on this side, but on this side of the back molar. Uh, and there's a shadow, and we took another X-ray just to make sure. It even went into the root of the tooth, so that's not a good sign. And then yeah, so my doctor, our dentist, dentist doctor, she explained that, and we also did a test. We took like I forgot the name of it. It was some sort of cold thing, and they put it on the end of a Q-tip and touched it and asked me if I feel anything, and I didn't feel anything, which is not a good sign. uh, and then they tested the tooth in front of it just for comparison, and I felt a little bit of something, which you're supposed to feel more than a little bit, so that's also not a great sign. So, anyways, conclusion: it's got my back molar's got partial necrosis, so it's still like sort of alive, but mostly dead. Like it's dying or dead. But a lot of the other part of the back molar is still healthy though. And she said you got two options, right? You've got root canal, or you can take the tooth out. And I was like, okay, well, what's a root canal? Like I've heard of it before, but I've never really, like, what is it, right? So she explained a root canal is basically they go into the bottom of the tooth, right? And they make a hole and they go to where the nerve would be, but now it's like part of that nerve is dead, and there's a like a cavity in there, like a not a cavity, but they said like a chamber. She called it a chamber, where the nerve would be. And there's decay on the outside, like inner outside, and into there. But it's sort of like because I don't have any pain, it's sort of naturally, which is a good sign, at least for now. But she calls it like, eventually there would be pain. You don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, if it's going to be a year from now, it's going to be 20 years from now, but eventually there will be pain, and yeah. And more decay, can cause other issues if it goes further. But right now it's sort of sealed itself and it's like okay for the moment. So yeah, so the root canal, they go in, they clean out all the like the channels. Apparently there's anywhere from 3 to 5 channels inside of a molar. So they'll clean those out of everything. It's gonna be 2 to 2.5 sessions of 1 hour a week, at least a week gap, and then another appointment that's an hour, and then sometimes there's even a third appointment just to make sure everything's, so they clear everything out and then they seal it back up, so that you've got, basically you're making uh, a living tooth into an artificial tooth, so it's still usable, and it's your tooth, it actually matches up. If it didn't match up with your bite, then then it's like, okay, maybe taking it out is better. But since it does match up and the rest of the tooth is actually still quite healthy and whole, there's a lot of tooth left to save, then it's still good, so you can save it. So I synopsed it afterwards, and she enjoyed it. She's like, that's probably the best synopsis I have ever heard of. Like, because she's like, I asked her, like, is it worth saving? Like, should I do the root canal, or do you suggest I take it out? And she's like, okay, well, my personal opinion, I think if a tooth can be saved, you should save it, right? Especially if it matches up and everything else. And then she said there's also possibility of lateral fracturing when you're doing the root canal, and in that case, then it's gone because it becomes more brittle once you do a root canal. Um, and so I was like, okay, and in that case, you would just take it out, right? She's like, yeah. And then she was like, take your time. You don't have to decide right now if you want to do the appointment for the root canal or you want to take your tooth out. You have time to. I really dislike loud music being played, but hey, if they like it, that's them. So, my doctor, she actually has a great name. Her name is Dr. Patience. So I'm gonna issue some patience right now. So is my imam actually at the masjid here. His name is Sabr, patience. So it's kind of beautiful. I'm learning my patience here in Sault Ste. Marie that I lost. Well, not lost, but like I had a lot when I was young, and it was very beautiful. I loved it. So now I'm learning how to have beautiful patience. It means you don't just wait, but you do the right deeds at the right times, the best ones at the best times. And you have, just like Surat Al-Asr, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. By the time indeed mankind is in loss, except those who believe and do righteous deeds. They act upon their belief, do good, and do so in haqq, truth, and do so with sabr, patience. All right, this one. Going back to the root canal. uh, so after she explained everything to me, I was like, I'm convinced. You've given me enough knowledge. I trust your knowledge on this matter. I could do some. I was like, I could do some extra research at home and like debate with myself and call some other people of knowledge. But she seemed very knowledgeable, and I've always had a great experience at Dr. Patience's dental office. Yeah, they've always taken great care of me. So, I trust their knowledge on the issue. And as far as like my own limited knowledge on dental health that I've learned in the past, I was like, no, I'm good. If we can save him, let's save him. And and after the last part I said before the music interruption, um, I was like, she's like, lateral fracturing is possible, and I was like, at that thing you just take it out, right? And she's like, yeah, that would be the case. So I was like, okay, as soon as it was like, so we're gonna go in. If we can save him, we'll try and save him. And if he dies on the operating table, then like, halas, he's done. We take him out. she was like, she looked at me for a second. She was like, that is the best synopsis I have ever heard of the root canal in this. She actually enjoyed that, so that was pretty funny. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, khair, everything goes well. And we'll just see what happens. It's honestly not as expensive as I thought. The total for root canal here, I believe it was $943, which is not that bad, honestly, if you're gonna save your tooth. And I do have coverage from my college, so I've got partial coverage on that. You can even, and she said you can even at the front desk attendant, bless her, and all of them. She said, I asked her, like, does it have to be paid all at once, or can I do payments? She's like, you can do payments as well if you need to. So, alhamdulillah, we're good, it's good to go. So, yeah, inshallah, khair. All right, anyone else who's out there who's wondering about root canal, dental hygiene, it's very important. These roots connect like, you know, into our mental health every day. So having a healthy teeth helps us have a healthy mind and a healthy body, right? Um, so yeah, anyone out there who's also experiencing anything, you know, make an appointment with your dentist, get some coverage however you can, you know, in a healthy way, and yeah, don't be afraid. Just ask questions, find out, get some knowledge, and feel better.